guess we're doing it.
Welcome to... Thanks, Whitey, for interrupting my intro.
Every time.
Welcome to... Come on, get it done.
Welcome to This Week in Guns, a podcast that covers the latest commentary on the firearms industry, news, information, and buzz. Brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. I'm your host, Jake Challen, president of FRN. You make this show possible. That's right, you simply click through our Amazon affiliate link the next time you're shopping online, and a small portion of your sale goes to supporting pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. We have a great panel this week. We have Adam Kraut of the Firearms Industry Consulting Group, a division of Prince Law Offices PC, and also host of the Legal Brief on the Gun Collective. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
Doing great. And we have Whitey of Four Guys Guns. Hey,
Pleasure to
Whitey.
be here, Jake. Thanks for having me.
And we have Baraka James, chairman and founder of MASF, otherwise known as
Jake.
Modern American Shooting and Firearms. Hey, Baraka.
Good evening, Jake. Honored to be here. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy and or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised, especially on live shows. Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Have a new pre-order up for miniature bullet bill patch over there at patriotpatch.co. Also have new M4 cleaning mats coming soon. Those should be in stock late next week. Thank you for everyone pre-ordering those. If you want to pre-order one, those are still up for pre-sale, patriotpatch.co. And sign up for the email newsletter for a chance to win a patch a month for a year, patriotpatch.co. Top stories this week. How's that is that Facebook feed not up yet?
It's I checked it on my end. It's got a lot of reverb for me. Somebody else may want to just double check that, but it's pretty bad on my end.
I have 23 following.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people following, but on my and I refreshed the page a couple times. So maybe somebody, whoever's watching, maybe you can comment. Let us know if the audio is good.
Yeah,
That would be helpful.
Where can you see the comments, by the way?
they show up. Yeah, so if you're watching the show on Facebook, on Firearms Radio Facebook page, comments show up just like you would on any post that you're viewing on Facebook.
Awesome.
Start with some positive news. Why the media isn't showing you Louisiana's historic flooding. This is actually an article from Huffington Post, but it talks about Baton Rouge and areas, historic flooding. 20,000 people have had to been rescued here in the last few days. 20,000 people had to be rescued. Just think of that number.
And they said there was over 45,000 homes damaged so far, and that's just what they've tallied so far. I mean, it's insane, man.
Unreal. 10,000 people have been put in shelters. I heard even higher numbers than that. Roughly 90% of people living there have flood damage to their homes. But yet you're not hearing about this on the national media hardly at all. Not like we have other disasters.
Doesn't fit the narrative, Jake. Doesn't fit the narrative.
You're right. It doesn't. Which is unfortunate because the people of Louisiana are really coming together and taking care of business, helping each other out. There's what they're terming the Cajun Navy to the rescue, where all these hunters and fishermen are all getting out their boats, their flat bottom boats and stuff, and going out and rescuing people and helping people and bringing people water and food, and just the community just coming together, helping everyone out like it should be. It's not big cry for national help, national recovery. People are just pulling up their bootstraps down there and taking care of business.
And there's a lot of groups stepping up. Like at my church, I'm a Knight of Columbus, as I told you guys previously. I'm Roman Catholic, and we've already taken up quite a few donations and collections to try to send monetary aid and whatever else that people are requesting. They said that there's only 2 stars, which I was really surprised that they said have stepped up so far, which is Taylor Swift, she's donating $1 million of her own money, and then they said Lady Gaga was contributing, but they didn't give a dollar amount. But what I'm surprised is, do you guys remember when the nuclear plant shut down in Japan? Like literally, every star in Hollywood was like fighting to throw millions of dollars out, and where are they now? You know,
They make a lot of money in Japan, though.
well, that's true. Again, so, doesn't fit the narrative. You're right. I guess you're right.
But and I think that's kind of what gets me the most. You know what? There's certain colloquialisms, terminologies. Pick whatever phrase you want, or descriptive word to describe some of the lingo, if you will, that the Second Amendment community, conservatives, Republicans, go ahead and group whatever group you want, we use that we all understand, that we know. And I personally, I'm just tired of fitting the narrative. I feel like we all know what that means, but you're never going to get it out of our actual, little circles into people. Right. Because what do you mean narrative? What do you mean narrative? Because they're already so involved in hearing these things that it falls on deaf ears. So I wish there was a different way of saying it. And that's the sad part, is that, well, it has nothing to do with elections, has nothing to do with email scandals, has nothing to do with Donald Trump, all these things. So yeah, it doesn't fit the narrative, but we need a different way of saying that, I think, so that way we can actually expose more of, here's what you tune into is blinders for you, and it's against your knowledge, and it's against your control.
That makes sense.
One of the last sentences in this paragraph, it says, humility and selflessly helping others does not fit the script of our news media.
It's true.
It's weird coming from Huffington Post.
Right?
It's true, but did you guys notice? Oh, I'm sorry, Jake. I didn't know you were about to move on, but I was going to say that poor kid that was caught in the rubble, that has overshadowed everything now. That picture of that child that was unfortunately hurt.
In Syria?
Yeah, that's one child over, like you said, 30,000 people. I mean,
right.
And that's getting the headlines right now. So it's not fair. Not right.
All right. Milwaukee shooting and aftermath. Riots erupt in Milwaukee after officer-involved shooting. Wisconsin governor takes massive action against BLM rioters. Riots on the streets of Milwaukee. 5 fast facts you need to know. And ATF offers $10,000 reward in Milwaukee fires.
Yeah.
We can start with the truth. I mean, that no one ever wants to say. I have no problem saying the truth. The truth in the matter and the fact is that those people don't want to do any kind of work. They just want to find an excuse to do something bad. They're kids without direction. They want to go out and cause anarchy and cause problems because they don't have anything better to do. They just want to go and participate in things. It doesn't fit. Again, the shooting doesn't fit the narrative. It wasn't an unjust shooting. It was a guy who was armed. It doesn't fit the racial narrative of, it's a black cop and a white, it was a white cop and a black perp. This time it was a black cop and a black perp, and he had a gun, and it was justifiably done, and they still rioted. So what does that tell you? It's the people. I mean, if you guys knew some of the stories of some of the law enforcement officers that I've spoken with, and having to go into these very low-income neighborhoods and the treatment that those guys get, bottles of urine thrown at them, they go and investigate a place like in a high-rise apartment building, they come out, their tires are slashed and their windows are broken. I mean, that stuff doesn't make the media. I mean, these cops are out there literally risking their lives with every call they take. They're being shot at from elevated positions sometimes in some of these apartment complexes where these giant high-rises are where they can't see. I mean, it's constant, and these people don't want the police there, but those same exact people, no matter what happens, what is the first thing that they do? They call the police if someone's hurting them or trying to.
This is a direct response to media escalation, so it doesn't even matter. A guy could come out spraying rounds, not just pointing at a police, spraying rounds, holding a bag of crack, and because a cop shot somebody, it's reason to riot.
It's not.
No. So hold on. Don't even. I'm not trying to say that's right. You're right. It's not a reason to riot. But you see Michael Brown, you see Trayvon Martin, you see all these escalations and the media just blowing it way out of proportion, and all these guys get is a text message, an Instagram post, somebody literally live streaming that their boyfriend got shot, and that's all it takes. It doesn't even matter what facts are, because it has escalated from one to the next to try and break that just sense, I guess, of people to say, you know what the hell happened?
The behavior is that of uncivilized people, really is what it is. Instead of waiting to see if, and the media is to blame, and so is a lot of the politicians, including the president, instead of letting facts come out and seeing how the justice system works. So in the event that a officer did in fact murder someone as opposed to defend themselves, and letting the system work through the process, it's now we have jumped to conclusions before there's any shred of clue as to what has happened. So you have people if from my understanding of the situation in Milwaukee was the guy pointed a loaded gun at the cop. He deserved to get smoked. End of story. Point a loaded gun at anybody, you deserve to get smoked.
That's right.
That's the way of the world.
You or me, and I'm going home. That's right.
Right, yeah. So instead of letting any sort of facts about the situation come out, they just go, cop shot someone, let's riot and burn down our cities. And then the perhaps the most disgusting part I found was that CNN actually edited the sister's quote to make it sound, and when I first saw it, I said, oh wow, that's actually something reasonable somebody said. And then I saw the rest of the video, and my opinion was instantly changed. But the media is complacent in it. They're perpetuating this nonsense.
Adam, don't skip the detail for people who didn't hear what.
Yeah, so for those of you that didn't hear, and I think we can try and put that link in the show notes, right, Jake? If we find that video. But the sister, so CNN had I guess a quote from her that said, stop burning down our neighborhood, like we need those businesses more or less. What CNN left out was her next line that said, go to the suburbs, burn down their stuff.
That's right, that's correct.
And, like I said, when I first saw what was on CNN, I said, wow, that's, somebody's actually being rational, family members actually being rational about this. And then we get the rest of the story, and no, it's the same nonsense.
Take it to the suburbs.
Yeah, take it to... No. How about you stop burning stuff down? Because that doesn't solve anything.
Well, the funny thing that makes me laugh, I mean, not when I say laugh, I mean, it's just absolutely stupid, and I don't get it, is, okay, so someone did something wrong. I'm going to go outside my house and take a bat and start breaking all the windows. I'm going to go to my neighbor's house and start breaking their house, and I'm going to start ripping up the street in front of my house, and I'm going to go down the street a mile away from my house and rip up the 7-Eleven. That makes lots of sense. Let me go and destroy my surroundings because I feel someone did something wrong. Yeah, lots of sense there. It absolutely blows my mind.
Oh, and we keep allowing this to occur. I mean, this is now... This has happened in how many cities now? Where all the officers in Baltimore, after they destroyed part of that city, they were all found not guilty.
Well, look at the mayor. Give them a place to destroy, dude. Who says that? What is that?
No. How about you stop?
Arrest them. Exactly.
Stop and act like civilized human beings.
Exactly. Well, that's what it is, man.
Shots fired after Ferguson protester struck by car. This was a 2-year anniversary of the Michael Brown's death. Apparently, they find reason to go out every year now in Ferguson, Missouri.
Pure ignorance.
And they're like we've seen a bunch of people just out in the middle of the highway and stuff, and one of them got struck by a car here.
Get out of the way.
And it was a complete accident. The lady actually turned around and came back because she was like, oh my God, I hit someone, and was coming back to the scene of the accident. And when she drove back by, like, her car got riddled with bullets, just gunfire everywhere, and so she sped off again. And
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. It's street justice at this point.
Right.
Vigilante, it's vigilante justice, exactly. So let's talk about that. Again, why are those people celebrating or even bringing up? They should be ashamed that they're celebrating a criminal did a criminal act that caused controversy, racial divide, and an uproar in our country, and they're celebrating it. I don't want to remember that. I want to forget about it because you know what? It doesn't matter. They are thugs that are going and breaking laws, and they're causing corruption in the media, and I don't want to hear about it. I mean, they want to celebrate it and bring it back up. It's like rubbing salt in the wound or ripping open a scab or a scar. Makes
You know
no
what I
sense.
want to see? I want to see anybody in that crowd that was celebrating the 2-year anniversary of that, or 1 year, or whatever it is. I want to see their Facebook feed. That's what I'm saying. I want to be able to log in as them for one day.
I don't think you do.
Well, no, I do, because here's my little theory: is that
Mhm.
you ever see Get Hard with Kevin Hart
Oh yeah, I love that
and
movie. It's
Will
hilarious.
Ferrell?
Yeah.
So he goes into trap house, and they go to hem him up, so to speak, and he starts talking about 401ks and portfolios,
Oh
and starts
yeah.
showing them how it works,
Yeah,
and
that was
boom,
awesome.
they see a different way and they go a different way. Now,
Yep.
comedy, meant to be a funny movie, most likely highly implausible. However, it's a matter of being able to see a different way. Now, if all you do all day is you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you have a job that you're not happy with, you got responsibilities, so you're kind of anchored or trapped or feel you are and can't make forward progress, I want to see that Facebook feed. Because all you have to do is literally go like a few different things for them. Go do all these different things, just so they get a glimpse of a different way.
That makes sense. I actually concur with
You're
that.
you're predicating that entire thing based on that they will have an open enough mind to critically think about it.
You don't
Well,
need to get them all. You just need to get a percentage.
so back to the critical thinking. You actually have to have the capacity to be able to be a critical thinker. And again, it's the bell-shaped curve. I always talk to you guys about intelligence. You've got left of the 100 IQ and to the right of the 100 IQ. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who are the basic left of the 100 are not capable. They are just basic: eat, sleep, you know what, fornicate, and that's it. Get mad based on emotion driven, not thought and critical thinkers. It's not going to happen.
All right. Well, let's start with something a little more positive. Olympic updates. Shooter Kim Rhodey has won a medal for 6 consecutive Olympics.
Woo.
Amazing. I mean, that's outstanding.
And I believe she's the first woman to do that, if I read.
Dude, anyone, that is just awesome, period. And the fact that she's not getting the recognition she deserves because of the current political climate is absolutely just a travesty to her, her family, our country. That's something that everyone could have gotten behind. If that had happened back in the 80s, dude, it would be everywhere, all over our country. She would have so many endorsements right now. She'd be making Tiger Woods look like nothing. I'm telling you, if it was back then, yeah. But now, no. It's a travesty, man.
Well, this is it really is unfortunate because you have a sport that is played by the world.
Oh yeah, especially in England.
So it's not even a gun rights thing. It's
Mhm.
just literally like shooting trap and skeet and sporting clays is a worldwide activity that even countries where guns aren't a thing really, they engage in that. And this poor woman is ignored on an incredible feat. And it's because she is outspoken about guns and gun rights, and that's just what blows my mind about it is we're talking about a constitutional right, and
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh no, we can't possibly." Yeah, we can, and actually you should because that's a heck of an accomplishment.
But remember, according to Hillary Clinton, Adam, like with all rights, it should be regulated. Remember that.
Well, it's a good thing I don't care what she
What
says.
did we ever do before that regulation?
She'd get more press if she was pro-Hillary. I think I read that she's very pro-Trump, but if she was pro-Hillary, if she was like, oh, yeah, these assault weapons, yeah, I believe in common sense gun control.
Oh yeah, the buzz.
Yeah, you know what common sense gun control is? Teaching kids gun safety at a
That's right.
young age.
No,
That's
but
correct.
don't you agree if she followed that narrative?
Oh yeah, 100%. She'd
Yeah.
be.
Oh, absolutely.
Oprah Winfrey,
She'd be all over
she'd
the
been on the
news.
Oprah Winfrey show, Ellen DeGeneres show, every show out there, man, every popular.
People
big
watch those
liberal-
shows still?
I don't know, dude. I don't even know what's out there anymore. The View, all these huge liberal shows, yeah, they'd be out there all over her, man.
You just named like 3 shows that are all geared towards the female audience with female hosts. What does
Yeah.
that tell you?
Well, yeah.
Not
Well-
to sound like a sexist, but
No. But I'm just saying. I mean, they should be proud just that she's an American, and in the secondary that she's a woman. I mean, that's a phenomenal feat for a person, regardless.
I must have missed something.
The shotgunner. That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Okay.
The Olympian.
Because I thought we were still on like Oprah Winfrey or whatever.
Oh,
like,
no.
She's a woman and an American, and it's
no. Back to the topic at hand, Whitey. Zoom back, dude. Olympic shotgunner.
The next two are not so optimistic, Jake.
Oh,
Tell the tale of Rio.
The U.S. swimmers that lied about the robbery said, one of them claimed to have a gun to his head.
Right, and then in the next article down for Great Britain, and then the International Olympic Committee was like, I don't think a gun was used at all. It's like, do you even walk the streets down there at all? People are getting robbed everywhere.
Did you guys see that?
That was a huge concern prior to the Olympics, too. The amount of violence that was rampant, still is.
There's a feed out there on Facebook of like came from like Europe somewhere of robbery after robbery. It's like in a kind of like a Times Square, New York thing. And it's taken high up from this apartment, and you just see
it's like a live feed.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So many, dude, and you can see them too. It's like a group over here, and then another one over here. There was a guy on his phone on a bus, and a kid reaches in and grabs his cell phone and takes off with it. I was like, wow. Can you say ghetto to the 10th power?
I don't know. Is that politically correct to say anymore?
Oh, it's definitely not. I think that word ghetto is probably not politically correct.
What? Olympics are held in a third world country and there's rampant crime?
Like, right. I know. It's a shocker.
Venezuela, speaking of third world and socialism, Venezuela crushes 2,000 guns in public, plans ammo registry.
Insane.
So this crushing of guns, was that supposed to be like public executions or something? Same kind of effect?
You got me. All I know is people are starving and they're worried about crushing guns. I mean, yeah, dude.
Well, it's so the people can't possibly, rise up and defend themselves. There's a method to the madness.
Right.
Now the situation in Venezuela is terrible. I think Recoil posted the article the other day, which was a fantastic article.
It was good.
This woman kept it's a little off topic, but this woman kept a journal for over a month as to the situation.
I read that too.
I read it as well. It was good.
So if you guys are on Facebook, I highly recommend you go over to Recoil, like the magazine Recoil, and find that link on there, and I'll try and toss it in the show notes as well. But it was a really interesting read as to the situation down in Venezuela as far as the food issues they're having and how, much like in the 70s here when gas was, you could only buy gas on certain days, same deal with food down there, except when your day for food comes, there may not be any food that you need or want on the shelf. So it really goes to show that socialism is just a horribly awful idea, and people are literally starving. And now back to the gun part of this. Oh, and keep that out of the United States, please, because it doesn't work.
Yeah, as much as our president has tried, banning people from being able to grow herbs and stuff, having backyard chickens, etc. Why? Because they want us all to be dependent on the government. I mean, it's obvious, dude. Control. You control food, you control medicine, you control the people. It's a very simple thing. Wake up.
The article itself, though, since it's they crushed some guns. 200 guns in truck-mounted presses. Some members of the public watched, although more were apparently dancing to a nearby sound system playing salsa music. But Venezuela, where people are starving to death, has decided that they would rather spend money on laser technology to mark ammunition in an attempt to keep a registry of bullets given out to the South American nation's many state and municipal police forces.
Or you could buy more food.
Yeah, well, apparently a lot of the ammunition used in crime is made by the government's munitions factory and sold by corrupt police to people. So it's unbelievable. Venezuela apparently has the second highest murder rate in the world, and the street gangs that plague its poor neighborhoods are apparently increasingly heavily armed. The whole situation down there is just awful.
Oh, and Jake, is it okay if I bring up something about one of our own in the gun community who's a veteran, Navy vet, who was injured recently and is in the hospital now?
Yeah, go for it.
So I don't know if you guys. I met her a couple years ago at SHOT Show. Jacqueline. I always say her name wrong. Carrizosa. She is a former Navy diver, and I don't know the rest of her MOS because I'm not, a military person or anything. But she's very much. She works over at the machine gun place in Vegas, and it was always a SHOT Show, very much promoting women shooting. Does some firearm instructing. She rides dirt bikes, I think semi-pro and things like that. And apparently, I don't know how it happened, but she got hit by a car and her back is broken, and she's currently in critical condition. They started a huge GoFundMe campaign for her, and yeah, I was wondering if any of you guys heard any updates. Did you hear anything, Josh, or you?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard any updates at all. I was actually just about to ask a Facebook group that had posted it, which was weird because we were just watching a video that she had put up of her shooting full auto SCAR, looked like a SCAR 16. She said it was a SCAR heavy, full auto, and all of us were like, she's like such a good shooter, and she's got such a good background. Why would she,
awesome.
Put a bikini on and do it? Like, we didn't understand. And then the next day, she got tagged by somebody while riding her motorcycle.
And she's petite, man. She's a very small girl.
She is not a small girl. You stop it. You're also like 8'3".
Well, okay.
but that girl is solid. She works out. She takes care of herself. She's a good shooter.
Yeah.
And she lost a kidney, and her back was broken in 2 places. Is the last I heard. We have not received any updates via social media, and I don't know her personally or that well to really kind of be tracking it.
Yeah, we had a link in the show notes earlier today when we were working on it, and I can't find it now, so we can drop that back in.
Yeah, I just, like I said, she's been, they had that big article released on her on from military.com recently. Navy vet will race Vegas to Reno for Veterans Training Fund. She was trying to raise money for that foundation, and it literally happened like while, during her training. I hope everybody's out there giving her positive thoughts and prayers because she needs it, man. Thanks for letting me add that in, Jake.
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing it up. Gun used at Munich mass shooting bought on Darknet. Josh, what is Darknet?
It's racist, is what it is.
Now, I'm surprised that you asked him when that's what I do for a living for the last 16 years.
That's thing.
That's right.
I always see these articles for Darknet, and I'm like, I kind of want to. It's like a snuff film. Like, I don't want to be there, but I kind of want to see it.
No, don't. You'll get owned. Your system will get owned. So Darknet is a place that I suggest that no one listening to this ever goes to unless you know how to basically protect yourself. It's like walking through a place of dirty needles, syringes, and razor blades.
Shoot my computer?
Barefoot.
That's not the entire internet?
Barefoot with that are also coated in rubbing alcohol and salt.
That's what public library computers are for.
Wow.
Well, let's go,
Jake.
Has a lot of things that you don't want to see, like true snuff films. For those who don't know what snuff films are, you can go and Google it because I'm not going to say it. They have a lot of bad things on there, but there's a lot of bad hackers that purposely, when you go and click these hyperlinks to investigate things, they're already hacking into your computer. They're doing reverse malware on you and things like that. So unless you can do like a Tor or doing any kind of onion routing, so onion routing is layers of routers that go through various proxy servers, which means so this is your computer, and pretend each one of those patches is a computer. You start here, you go through all of these proxies that leave no cookies, no traces behind, and then you get out to the other side. That's what Tor browser is, onion routing. It's layers of routing to make sure that people can't track you. That's why the
firewall.
Yeah. Okay, you can have 20. You can have 20 firewalls. That doesn't really matter, dude.
I use a Mac.
Okay, I'll just tell you.
Can I go buy illegal firearms on the dark web or black market or whatever it's called? Racist sounding undertones.
The Darknet is a place you don't want to go to. Stay away from it because hackers like to come in there, put malware on your computer in places that your malware scanners won't find it, like your video card drivers and
I have a Mac.
I'm telling you, those guys use openware Linux hacking tools. None of it's Windows, dude.
Like right now, the Scotch tape is off my camera. Like I'm.
All right, Jay, go ahead, man.
So the shooter is said to have bought the gun, a semi-automatic Glock 17, on the black market. And this was in Europe too. This wasn't like, in the U.S. where it's much easier to buy guns in general.
Every place in the world that guns are illegal, there's a way to get them. So let's talk about for a place I know for a fact. So South Korea, guns are illegal. But if you go down to Busan in South Korea in the southern tip of Seoul, or way under Seoul, in what's called Gyeongsang-do, which is the deep south, there is Russian mafia, and they sell guns down there. And you can just go down there and start looking around for Russians, and you will eventually find what you're looking for. So every country that
How
says
do you know all this stuff?
He was there. He needed a gun to protect himself when he was there. What do you think?
If I had told you, I'd have to kill you, Jake. So
Okay, Jason Bourne.
Now I want to watch Jason Bourne, even though I now hate Matt Damon.
yeah, because he's Mr. Anti-2A. Remember, he was like, "Oh, I wish my country would follow suit with you, Australians. You guys are great. I wish they would just burn all the guns and crush all the guns. And man, you know what, dude? Stay over there. Revoke his password. Revoke his freaking passport. Don't let him come back. Even if he likes it so much, let him live there. Make movies over there."
All right, 2 California stories here. CRPA, California Rifle and Pistol Association, files NRA-supported lawsuit challenging California's ban on publicly carrying firearms.
Good
Adam,
luck.
can you break this down for us?
Lawyer,
Hold on, I'm pulling
Paging
it up.
Mr. Esquire. Paging Mr. Esquire.
you've been lawyered.
You guys keep talking.
Okay, so anyway, Jake, yes, when I was learning about Korean culture, I learned a lot about the country. When I was learning how to read and write it, I learned how to read Korean in a day. I can understand 75% of it. I can speak it. I can write it. It's the third language I learned, and there you go. A little tidbit about me there for you, buddy.
Okay,
How did
so
we get to Korean?
Because we were
that's
talking
what
about
they were talking
Gyeongsang-do.
about. All right, so this case is the follow up to the Perudo case, which originally was heard, and they found that the sheriff's good cause policy was unconstitutional. Then the Ninth Circuit reheard the case en banc, so all the judges heard it as opposed to just a small panel. The larger panel in the Perudo case reversed that decision, finding that there was no Second Amendment violation in denying concealed carry licenses because, in the view of the court, there's no specific constitutional right to carry a concealed firearm in public. So the en banc panel apparently failed to view the denial of carry permits in the broader context of the California's regulatory scheme that requires residents to carry concealed. They suggested that the open carry may be the only manner of carrying a firearm that's protected under the Second Amendment. Now remember, this is the Ninth Circuit, so this would only apply to states that are within the Ninth Circuit, which would be California, I think Washington and Oregon, and there may be one or two others out there. So this new case challenges California's open carry laws in addition to state and local regulations that deny concealed carry licenses to citizens. They say, as explained in the new lawsuit, the Supreme Court's made clear that the right to bear arms cannot be completely foreclosed because California's laws prohibits the plaintiffs and other law-abiding citizens from openly carrying a firearm, and because the defendant sheriff, I'm guessing, denies them the only lawful means of carrying a concealed firearm, they're completely barred from exercising their right to bear arms. So what we'll find out here is going to be whether or not how that court's going to rule on it, because if they say, well, you don't have a right to carry a firearm at all, that goes against Heller pretty openly there. So we'll see how this one pans out. It's going to be an interesting one. And you know, the original decision in the Perudo case was rather everybody was very surprised that the Ninth Circuit found that way, and then when it went en banc and found the other way, that wasn't really a surprise to anybody.
You know what my fear is? You know how a lot of people fall back on the Heller ruling, Adam? Is that if Hillary Clinton gets in office and gets to appoint her justices, they could overturn Heller.
They absolutely could, but that also then requires people who are litigating stuff to be conscious of who the justices are and whether or not it makes sense to appeal things to the Supreme Court or just let sleeping dogs lie.
Mm.
So California gun owners are also pushing ahead on gathering petition signatures for getting some of this on the ballot for this this fall to have some of these recently passed laws revoked. Using like hashtag Take Back California and hashtag Veet Gunmageddon. There's a map that CalGuns has where it shows a photo of 500 plus gun stores and ranges that actively have petitions available to be signed right now, stocked 100% by volunteers, printed 100% by donations. It's been, I guess it's been like nothing ever done before out there, just getting out there and force all these volunteers going to every corner of the state to get these petitions out there.
At least they're being active and they care. So I'm glad to see it's getting done some way.
I just want to throw this out there real quick, going back to the en banc thing real fast. Somebody shot me a message on Facebook. It looks like with the Ninth Circuit, you typically en banc means the entire court hears it. With the Ninth Circuit, it looks like they have 29 judges, and it looks like 11 of those judges sit when it's en banc. So you have a 3-judge panel, and it appears from the rules that I'm reading here, it's an 11-judge panel if they're hearing it en banc. So just wanted to clarify that. Go on, carry on.
That's a good tidbit. Thank you, Adam.
Sure.
So yeah, feel free, you guys in California. You got a long road to climb here to get back to, at least get back to where you guys were as far as gun rights go. Election Watch section here. Washington Post admits that Hillary wants all gun control the NRA has been warning about. Hillary wants all the gun control.
Yeah, she openly admitted it, and that's why I was saying that's what, going back to the sentence I was saying to Adam about the, her going through, if she gets her foothold and gets all the justice she wants, I can't see them not trying to go through and overturn everything that has held ground all this time.
So the best part is that, Washington Post, okay, I think we can all say, Washington Post has predominantly leaned a little bit more left than most.
Oh yeah.
But when the subcategory that this article is under, it's not an op-ed, it's not an opinion piece, it's not anything like that. It's the fact checker. Literally goes through all of it. I'm actually checking the Washington Post article that alludes to see it for myself, so to speak. It's like, no, that's not what we're doing at all. All we're saying is in 3,000 words or less, we're doing it because we're not doing it. And it's
right.
Like, you're literally proving
oxymoron. Totally.
I guess it's like Breitbart to some people. Like, okay, that's right leaning, and WAPO is officially now left leaning. So there you go. When using when using that in debate, note to self.
VP candidate just said about the dumbest thing about rifles, referring to them as weapons of mass destruction. This is the Libertarian Party VP candidate.
Whatever happened to nukes? That's a weapon of mass destruction.
Not anymore.
These guys should literally be ashamed of themselves, as much as Shotgun Joe Biden, who could have, if everyone took his advice, could have shot Girl Scouts trying to come and knock on your front door and give you cookies, sell cookies to you.
Some guy, if I recall, did do the Joe Biden thing, blasted 2 off, and then got arrested for it.
Good.
He tried to use that defense.
He tried to use that as a defense, just like the Navy person who just got charged tried to use the Hillary Clinton defense.
Yeah, I'll never forget Joe Biden saying that, just 2 blasts of a shotgun when if someone's at your door. Yeah, what if it's your neighbor?
Here's some of his quotes here. The 5-shot rifle, that's a standard military rifle. What 5-shot rifle is a standard military rifle?
Yeah, never heard of that one.
And then he says, the problem is if you attach a clip to it so it can fire more shells, if you remove the pin so that becomes an automatic weapon, those are independent criminal offenses, Weld said.
What pin?
I don't. Where are these guys? Where are these guys? The fact that they know nothing and they speak all this baseless zero knowledge makes me, it just irks me. Education, folks.
So they're
education.
a politician.
I know, but it's like they're at a cocktail party, and 5 martinis later, oh yeah, I heard all you do is you take a part out, and boom, speech right in time. What is happening here?
So you know the file down the firing pin thing.
Okay.
How everybody says if you file down the firing pin on an AR-15, you can make it a machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody say that in public. I was.
All you do is take the shift knob off your car, race car.
Exactly.
I was at dinner and we were waiting by the bar, and I overheard this guy sitting at the bar with his friend, and he said they were kind of talking in hushed tones. He's like, my gunsmith told me that if you filed that, and I didn't say anything, and looking back, I really should have, because I just want to know, when you file down the thing that strikes the primer, how's it going to go bang?
Exactly.
Somebody explain this to me.
What I don't understand is why do people speak when they can't speak intelligently about a topic? I usually shut up, go research it until I can, and I can hold ground and speak intelligently about it. If I don't know, I'm not going to just garble out and throw out garbage. I don't understand where people... Where's your sense of dignity, your pride? Why are you... I don't understand where the foot in the mouth thing comes from, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us. I don't know.
And Fox News should be ashamed. They constantly do it with their commentators. They should be ashamed.
So what have we learned? The libertarian candidates are not a viable third party for anybody who likes guns, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're not. We talked about this a little before, about how there was an incident where right after Gary Johnson won the nomination for the Libertarian Party, that I think it was the guy he was running against gifted him a replica pistol on stage, and then Gary Johnson was caught throwing that out later that day into a garbage in the hotel.
Oh, not to mention the fact that he openly endorsed Black Lives Matter, who are going around and trying to incite killing cops and he endorsed them right away. He was somebody who's not viable. He endorsed a hate group openly on TV. So there you go, dude. Well, so did Obama. He invited him to the White House. Yeah, never mind.
Well, that's no surprise from him. So.
All right, moving to next. Okay, so have an article here. I'm getting an echo here. Is this coming from Adam?
I'm not getting it.
1, 2, 3. No.
I don't hear it.
Adam, I muted you. So Trump blasts M4 rifle at targets.
At targets.
So, and then the Daily Mail, you got to check out the spin on the Daily Mail here. Why so shy? Trump blasts M4 rifle at targets before meeting police and even hits 2 bullseyes, but refuses to release a photo of himself armed at the range.
Yeah, I want to see those photos. I honestly do. And the reason why is because you can tell exactly within, I would say, 6 months to a year, what level of shooter you're looking at by the way they run an AR-15.
Name one. I can hear me echoing. Name one politician that you know of that's an avid shooter that isn't a sportsman.
Gabby Giffords. Oh wait, not anymore. No one? No funny there? All right.
Delayed.
What's the other guy with the rapey face? He was a Republican. Very vanilla. He dropped out later. Ted Cruz.
Oh, okay. He's from Texas.
Actually,
he was born with a gun in his hand. He's from Texas, dude. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys that are all gone now.
What'd you call him? What face?
Rapey face?
Rapey face. Rapey? What?
Yeah, like maybe in high school he had a van.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, so he wasn't foaming at the mouth and you didn't need shots?
Okay, I thought you said rape. Yeah, I mean, me too.
No, I am not a raper.
It's like rabies.
Rapey.
Okay, rapey. Okay.
Now that everyone knows, I just called Ted Cruz rapey.
He's gonna be at your house.
900 times over. Jake literally muted himself because he's laughing too hard at this point.
Oh my gosh.
All right, good grief. How I finally came to terms with Donald Trump. This is an article over on the Truth About Guns.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Robert outlines how he went through the different stages of the grieving process: denial, anger, depression, and acceptance. And I'll just read the last part here. Acceptance. You can and should criticize the mainstream media for failing to give Hillary Clinton the same rectal exam given Mr. Trump. There's no doubt that are going to be a bag in the bag for the big government Democrat and how. But the press isn't wrong to reveal Mr. Trump's lies, provocations, and lack of character. Even if half of what they publish is accurate, by my estimation, Donald Trump is a liar, a cheat, a phony, a fraud, a bully, a braggart, a flim-flam man, a candidate with about as much command of history, government, or foreign policy as your average high school student sad to say on all levels. But he's what we've got. I'm now fully prepared to recommend Donald Trump's election, knowing full well what I'm recommending. I cling to two main reasons: Hillary Clinton and the strength of our three-part government to at least blunt Mr. Trump's inevitable desecration of conservative principles.
No comment.
Okay.
Do you like guns?
You know
Well,
what's
that's
funny?
I mean, if you're a one issue voter, I mean, is that your issue? If you're listening to This Week in Guns, or if you listen to gun content mainly, or
Firearms Radio Network, perhaps?
yeah, or I mean, just in general, you're a gun guy. Is that what you kind of eat, live, and breathe as a hobby, as maybe a way of life? What are you going to vote this election? I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I mean, it's really something.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
consider.
know definitively with one candidate what you're getting.
Right, she said so. Hillary has said so. So I mean, that automatically forces the hand, basically. And you'd be shocked. I've talked to so many hunters that are pro-gun, they say, and they told me they voted for Obama. They told me that they're going to be voting for Hillary because they like their social stuff. And I'm like, do you guys understand that you were fooled by Obama, and Hillary has blatantly said that she's going to take away all guns if she can?
Well, remember, the Second Amendment guarantees hunting, Baraka.
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry about my bolt-action rifle here.
Exactly. Which will become later after, ARs and handguns are banned. A sniper rifle.
Again. You're
A
spoiling
sniper rifle. It's not a hunting rifle, it's a sniper rifle. So we'll be taking those from you, too. Oh, you can't use a shotgun anymore either. Why? Because, you look in the movies, it shoots
breaching
this
device.
Yeah, there you go. You can break down doors and it shoots this 15-foot wall of pellets from 5 feet away, because that's how shotgun patterning works. Yeah. Back to reality versus fiction, man. Education, that's all I'm going to say. People, get educated.
Moving on, Remington gets protective order, but still must still make documents public. Adam, can you break this down for us?
Yeah, I can. I just got to open it real quick here. All right.
Just got lawyered.
So
a protective order has been issued on behalf of Remington Arms in a case filed by the families of Sandy Hook victims that blocks confidential information for public view, but not the documents entirely.
Proprietary market research, branding strategy. So they're trying to protect some of their brand stuff here that would, I guess, as it says in the next sentence here, unfair competitive advantages that it would give to its competitors if this were to become public. So some of that stuff is just going to be redacted information. This is interesting to see that it's even this case has proceeded this far, that has made it to discovery based on the federal law that protects, theoretically anyway, gun companies from from this stuff. And it looks like it says they submitted a motion for summary judgment that challenged the plaintiff's argument of negligent entrustment. I'm guessing that hasn't been ruled on yet. I don't know definitively, but it looks like the judge did rule on the protective order. So I'm curious to see what happens here with the motion for summary judgment.
How hasn't it been knocked out yet? I mean,
well, for those of you that watch TGC News, you may remember John did an episode a while back where they had filed. I can't remember what happened, but they I don't know if there was a motion or what, but judge denied it, and everybody was up in arms about it. And the way that it works in Connecticut, from the little bit of reading I did to try and help him through it, was basically they chose the wrong car to drive that day. They, instead of using a motion, they chose to use something else, and that wasn't the correct method in order to get to the result they wanted. So the judge kicked it on them using the wrong vehicle more so than the end result wasn't necessarily the correct result.
So it was allowed to proceed because they didn't counter it with the correct...
Procedurally, they did something wrong. They made an amateur mistake. Yeah, they did something stupid that they shouldn't have done, and if they were practicing law in Connecticut, they should have known better. But
because I remember you saying rookie move, like they screwed something up in that manner. So because it's now been allowed to be pushed forward, they can now actually kind of demonstrate more of their findings, or saying, oh, well, here's how we can prove it.
Well, it sounds like they went to discovery to get documents and things like that.
What does that mean for us non-lawyers, discovery?
So discovery is when you submit requests, so they can be interrogatories, which are written statements that they have to reply to in writing. It can be admissions, so you can say plaintiffs or defendants admit that they make AR-15s, and defendants admit that they blah blah blah, and you either admit or deny them. It can be in the form of document productions, so you can request certain documents. And this protective order obviously was the order, but the motion was to, we'll produce some of these, but we want some of this stuff protected from public view because, of unfair competitive advantages and, personal identifying information and things like that. So that's typically how discovery works, and you get all that stuff. The idea is so that you don't go into court blind, per se, as to what the other side does or doesn't have. But discovery can be really messy, depending upon how in-depth it gets. There's some really, I can't remember if they're movies or just stories I've read, but you'll ask for production of documents, so they'll give you thousands of documents to force you to look through them. So they'll give you a lot of stuff that's completely irrelevant. Just
like a John Grisham movie.
Yeah, so somebody has to page through all of it, or if you're going to a place to look at it, they'll make the room either burning hot or freezing cold to make it as uncomfortable as possible for you. So I don't know. We'll see where this one goes. This will be another interesting one to follow. And if I recall, this is just in state court. It's not in federal court.
Or a circuit.
Right.
Or circus.
Which is like the AA ball before you go to Supreme.
Firearms instructor and daughter charged with homicide after man killed by accidental shot. I think we mentioned this story a while back. A firearms instructor had an accidental discharge in an Ohio gun shop, and the gun shop owner was shot and killed during a concealed carry class, and one of the instructors was demonstrating weapon malfunction drills and shot a live round off, went through the wall and into the neck of James Baker, the owner, who later died of his injuries.
So let's talk about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this was just like a month ago. We saw that happen, and we were all like, "What? Why do we have live ammo on a sim range?" And we talked about sterilizing everyone before they go in. Go ahead, Brock.
Well, no, that was like last week or 2 weeks ago. That was the old lady down in Florida that got shot and killed. No,
this is a different thing?
This one's different yet. So, yeah, the firearms instructor was charged with one count of third-degree felony or reckless homicide, and his daughter, who was helping teach his class, Katie, was charged with one count of first-degree misdemeanor negligent homicide.
Because it says they were supposed to be using black plastic bullets, so like Sims or whatever, but a live round discharged.
I think what they mean by plastic bullets is snap caps in this case.
Yeah, that's probably a good guess.
All right, so let's talk about what. First of all, it's mislabeled. It's negligent discharge. It's negligence. It's not accidental. Because the bottom line is, if you're teaching any kind of class, like I'm an NRA certified pistol instructor, I stay in my lane. I teach basic pistol, and that's it. And after that, I send it off to more advanced instructors later on. But the thing that they tell you in that class is they stress safety, 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 safety. Whenever I'm teaching in class, the first thing I ask everyone, and I make them physically verify. I don't, trust but verify. Do you have any rounds? Are your guns loaded? If so, give them to me. I unload them. I do not allow them to do it. I do it in a safe place, in a safe direction. I make sure they have and everything that's demonstrated is with a blue gun, which is wood with blue plastic around it, or a SIRT pistol. And then if I need to use my actual pistol, I use dummy rounds. Those dummy rounds are inert. There's no possible way it can happen. So it's negligent on their part. I don't care what anyone says. It's just, there's no excuse for it, because by saying accidental, that gives them excuse. And when you're instructing, you can't do that. There's instructors out here who have been teaching, like my good friend Steve Fisher, for 20 years, have never had a negligent discharge because they know what they're doing. They stress safety. Safety drives the train, as the late past Rogers used to say all the time. I mean, may God rest his soul. That doesn't happen if you're not negligent. There's no way, dude.
So, this is one of the first cases I've seen of people actually being charged with a crime.
Well, it's negligence. I mean, I hate to say it, but dude, it's not an accident. It was preventable. It was 100%.
Totally, I agree. It's just that you don't often see a follow-up here where charges are filed. New dating website. Listen up, single guys and gals. New dating website.
I'm already looking at this.
Love for gun owners. That's right. It's.
We should make one for Ebbs.
Okay, but there's actually, you know what, guys? That actually has some relevance. One of our writers for our online magazine named Eric Cotter, he wrote an article because him and his wife, now ex-wife, one of the reasons that was paramount in their divorce was because she was not a pro 2A person. She didn't like guns, and he's always out training and shooting and things like that, and it should have been discussed before their marriage. So I actually think this has a lot of validity. It can bring people together, and definitely
the solution is here. ConcealCarryMatch.com.
There you go.
You go there. Safe, friendly, and fun dating. Conceal Carry Match is committed to providing a respectful, safe, and unique online dating community dedicated to fostering relationships between like-minded individuals.
I wish I had thought of it.
What does that make-out session look like? Is that your gun? It is. Let's put ours away for now.
Is that your gun in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
That'll be our little secret.
So, did you find anyone yet, Josh? I see you cruising.
Oh, no, I'm not registering. That's all I use for the wife to magically turn my computer and be like, hey, you have 6 new winks or gunshots or whatever it is.
You're going to be for real in a minute.
It's going to be fire up or fire down instead of swipe left, swipe right, or whatever they have on.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you have to, double tap to, copy something. I'd wreck that slide. I mean, how many innuendos could we do?
Oh, dude, all night. We could do that all night.
I think we should make Ebbs an account.
There you go, dude. Put on his gun greaser.
Oh, yeah, his new sharp-looking haircut.
Yep, that's right. All back. Greaser. Gun greaser.
Our belief is that people are open and honest about gun ownership. In the first place, their intentions are good. In this respect, we feel it's the safest option for people to meet others. So, So you know how it goes. You know, you want to meet at that pizza joint, you know, down around the corner. Oh no, they have a no gun sign.
Oh yeah, that's
See
true.
here.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would help them with sponsorships too, dude. Go to program places around the country and say, hey, we got this dating website and we want a place that we know that you guys are a pro-gun organization. Hey, why don't you sponsor us so we can send them over there? List of pro-gun dating spots. A lot of business opportunity there.
All right, I'm going to blow through some of these stories quickly. We're running up on time. Vista sales up 23%. Vista sales reported 23% increase, including a jump in shooting sport sales by more than $10 million. So Utah-based company raked in $342 million with gun and ammo companies under its wing, such as Savage Arms and Federal Premium Ammunition.
Wow.
So big company, lots of companies under this umbrella. You know, Bushnell, Uncle Mike's, Hops, Simmons, you know, Savage. I mentioned a lot of companies you would recognize. So another big conglomerate out there, seeing a lot of success. So that could have been a positive news story.
Their stock, I was looking at their 5-year. Right now, it's. Oh, hold on, never mind. That's not 5. That's only within the last year. Scratch that. Never mind.
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a bit. What are we looking at?
This Vista Outdoor stock.
Petition to remove gunsmiths from ITAR has been started at whitehouse.gov.
Ridiculous.
Literally the stupidest thing I've seen.
Ever.
Here's a question. When have any of these petitions that the White House has said it would take action on if it got a certain amount of signatures, when have they ever taken action on any of them? Regardless of whether it was something that the administration would agree with or not.
True. Very true.
Here's a better idea. Instead of wasting your time signing this worthless petition, how about you call your freaking senators and representatives and tell them to support, was it House Resolution 829, whatever the NSSF was pushing? How about you do that? That would be well more worth your time calling your elected representative than signing some stupid petition on whitehouse.gov.
Takes
That's
too
just
much
my
work.
2 cents.
That was all
All the way at the bottom, there's a link, so you
Too
can
much
see
work,
petitions with updates, including a petition to create a federal law enforcement agency that supervises the behavior of all law enforcement agencies. So we need more cops to watch more cops.
Cops for cops.
Watching cops. Yeah.
An oversight.
We had breaking photos come out this week of the new FBI Glock 17M. Leaked photos.
That's what Glock should have been like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they couldn't have. I mean, even look at comp guns 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so I mean, the user market and a lot of the military stuff also evolves this way as well. It's you take what's the GI, the general issue, and you distribute it to the consumer platform, so to speak, and it's just like, you know, muscle cars. See what they do with it. See how they turn it upside down, how they twist it, bend it, break it, and make it go faster, better, stronger because of free market and not general issue. So I'm glad they came out something like this. I think the ambi controls is a big deal for them. Instead of just the mag release, now it's a slide release. So I know a lot of left-handed shooters apparently hang out with the weirdos. The flared bottom, I think, is the huge one in conjunction with the lack of finger grooves.
Yeah, finally. Because you guys like me with big meat paws, all of my 19s I had to shave the finger grooves off of.
Every Glock I have, grip reduction, stipple, flared mag well.
Yep.
And
look at you, cool, fancy kids. Can't shoot your Glock how it comes from the factory. Perfection.
Maybe we don't have little needle fingers, tiny guy.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe you missed how it says on the box, Glock, perfection. Maybe you missed that part.
I did miss the perfection part right as I grinded off all those little diamonds.
So internet gun gurus are calling this maybe the Gen 4.5, the Gen 5. What is this? And also out is a polygonal rifling, or more did I say that right? Poly.
Yes. Polygonal.
Polygonal, yeah.
I don't know. I felt like a Mormon saying that. I don't know.
So they got rid of the
Polygamy.
polygonal group? I thought Glocks were always polygonal rifling.
Yeah, they got rid of it. These have lands and grooves in them.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
man.
Interesting.
Hey, and just so everybody knows who's listening, you can shoot lead through Glock barrels safely.
They said you can't, not the originally OEM
That's
barrel.
yeah. So my understanding of where that comes from, if you want a cool, interesting backstory, when cops could buy ammunition cheaply and it was made of soft lead back in the like real soft lead, not
No,
hard cast.
This is smelted. My friend smelted this in a fire in his backyard,
Cool.
and then reloaded the casing. And he told me, "Don't shoot that through an OEM Glock because it'll mess it up." So
Can you
used it through my-
scratch it with your fingernail? Can you put dents in it? Because if so, it's too soft. But there are
No,
if
no.
you're shooting
Uh-uh.
hard cast,
Mhm.
like the ones we cast at work are 21 on a Burnell hardness scale for a reference point here. So the story is that cops were buying lead that was really soft and would you could scrape it with your fingernail, so they would shoot it and it would gunk up the gun. They would send the gun back to Glock because Glock has this fantastic warranty.
Okay.
Word is one of the bean counters said, we're spending an awful lot of money fixing stuff that's not our problem, so let's just say no lead. And that's my understanding of where that comes from.
That makes sense.
I shoot lead through my Glocks, I shoot them through my HKs, which are also polygonally rifled, and guess what? I don't have any issues.
The hardness makes sense because it didn't scratch, and I just never tried it because
when you get time, ask your friend why that is. And ask him if it's just because Glock says no, or
Okay.
if he has some reason behind it.
I will indeed.
I find it interesting that they went away from the polygonal rifling. I'm not going to lie.
Someone said in the comments, I don't know if this is true, but lands and grooves are more easily read by ballistic labs as to who fired what rounds or which FBI agent fired what rounds.
Oh, logically that makes sense.
Well, you also have to ask your question, though, like, is it actually, by a larger sampling pool, is it actually more accurate? Because every aftermarket barrel that I've seen has lands and grooves. It's not polygonal. Glock is one of the only companies I know of that does a factory polygonal barreling, polygonal rifling,
So
and
does
the
HK.
goal behind that. Do they? And the goal behind that was because of durability when you have other stuff inside that barrel, like dirt, mud, grime, yada, 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 from basic activity and less cleaning. There are more time between cleanings, I guess.
Well, my impression was that they did it because it was more accurate. But who knows?
Because I don't buy that rifling business one bit. Like when it comes to who's tracking it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
no
I
idea.
know this. No, it's all they can tell is it came from a Glock. Generally the barrel length and what caliber. Like that's all they can really tell from that stuff.
Wait, I watch NCIS. They can tell the DNA from the person that made that route.
That's based on real life, isn't it?
Completely.
It's just like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. He was actually a vampire killer.
That's right. I saw it on Netflix, dude.
It's a documentary.
It is.
Tell your kids.
Has anyone seen Pride, Prejudice in the zombie movie?
Oh my gosh, dude. No, but I heard about it.
Yeah, I asked my wife if she wanted to see it. She said no. I'm like, I'm thinking of you, baby. Come on.
Jake, remember, pregnant women are not supposed to watch horror movies. Remember that.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God. That's one of the things in that that Spock, Dr. Spock. Remember the book?
Oh, that was a terrible book. That was.
But I'm just telling you, that was one of the old school
They
things.
are supposed to eat spicy foods on bumpy roads, though.
I'm offended. We're to the I'm offended section. Somebody here is offended. American hunter Josh Bomar, who speared bear in Canada and let it die slowly, may face charges.
Take it away, Josh.
We were actually just talking about this earlier before the show notes, and even I on my personal Facebook shared it. I am not a hunter. I am in no way, shape, or form. However, you got to give it up to the chutzpah on a guy to go at a bear with a spear.
What kind of bear was it?
A bear. It doesn't even matter. It could
No,
be
it
a
matters.
koala bear. It's a bear.
Look how
they
fierce
hurt
the
and name
koala
you.
bear is.
And even it's a black bear. So your average black bear is anywhere from 180 to 350 pounds, depending on female, male, what time of year, etc., etc. That thing's job is to feed itself and move, and it is the same size or larger than me with 10 big freaking knives on its hand.
So, as a lifelong hunter, I will tell you, our biggest rule is ethical hunting. So, the only thing as hunters that we try to do is make sure we never wound an animal and make sure that it never suffers. So, we kill it quick. One shot, one kill, with whether that's a bow, whether that's a spear, whether that's a rifle, I don't care. You want to make sure that you've killed it and you killed it quickly. So, for someone who's not a hunter to measure that term and said letting it die slow, you don't know, because I can shoot a deer and hit a double lung shot and it'll drop, but I can shoot another deer in the heart and I've seen them run for 500 yards and bleed out. And what are you going to say, that whole time they were running were they suffering? I mean, you have to know more. It can't just be what people saw.
This is such a junk article, though. It says, he may be charged and everything, but goes on to say that spear hunting is legal in Alberta, where he speared this bear at. But it says, but not in Ontario. What does it have to do with Ontario?
You know what,
in Alberta. It's legal in Alberta.
I got to ask my friend Jessie. She lives up in Canada. She was recently married. She's a lifelong huntress, and that woman has killed things in several continents, and I wonder about that. I will reach out to her now.
And then the ministry told CBC that using a spear was archaic hunting and unacceptable. We will introduce a ban on spear hunting this fall.
Yay!
Wow.
And this is where I lost it earlier, because a couple friends of ours, Mr. John Patton and Clint Walker, went and they hunted nilgai and other stuff at night with thermals, 300 Win Mag. So big animals, cool hunting spot, totally legal hunt, and that was like literally the eye rate that came through, or the ire, whatever the word is, forget vocabulary. The ire that came through because it was so one-sided. It's, totally fair. Where's the sporting chance? This is as sporting as it gets. He speared a freaking bear. Now,
Right.
I don't know about you, but if you speared me, I'm going to have some fight in me. A little bit of fight, and I'm going to be pissed off about it, too. I wouldn't
Right.
come near me until I'm good and tired. So,
That's right.
whatever. It's like you can't win.
No,
They
you
don't
can't.
understand because they don't do it, or they
That's
don't
right.
respect it.
That's right.
They consider, why don't you just buy meat at the grocery store where no animals are harmed? That's the stupid mindset. And one of the things that me and Brock and everybody were talking about, and Jake, was when we feed our kids, when we feed our families, when we make hamburgers, I tell them, hey, we're eating cow.
That's right.
Pork chops, ribs, hey, we're eating pig. I mean, pulled pork is delicious. My kids love it.
Well,
This
it's
is part of it.
you know what's
Bacon.
funny about
Bacon.
here's the thing, Josh. This will make you laugh. Me and my wife were talking about this one day, and for context, guys, my wife was born in Korea, and she came here when she was 3 and has been here ever since. Served in United States Marine Corps. Anyway, in Korea, everything is named what it is. So sugogi is beef. They make, like, here we say beef, is instead of cow meat. Do you see what I'm saying? Tejugogi teji is pig, so it's pig meat. Everything, mulkogi is water meat, which means fish. I mean, everything is what it is. I mean, they don't lie and try to put all these other spins on it. You know what I mean? Like beef. You don't know what is beef. What is, where does that come from? No, it's cow meat, like you said. So, just for context.
Overflow.
I like how you put thought into getting speared and how angry you'd be about it.
I'd be BS. I would be full on BS. Like, I don't want to be the first guy to die by a spear since, like, when was the last time you speared? For Rome? Like,
Neanderthals were Roman.
Yeah, in the Roman times, like the dude in the chariot. Like, I'm not going to be the dude in 2016 spiked with a spear.
Sparta.
Like, on purpose. Not like I fell off something and landed on a spear. Like,
Well,
somebody...
maybe not in this continent, but there's other continents where people still use spears.
Oh yeah, and a lot of the African
Don't
hunting
make it
tribes.
offensive.
And
See,
so
I wasn't
the
going to say
Outback.
Africa. I was going to let Braca say it.
Outback.
Wow.
The Outback, the bush people.
Underlying tones of racism.
Totally. Bushmen, they use spears. They still hunt.
Yeah, they're in Australia, Jake.
Mm-hmm. Jake.
Jake from
Australia. I should have just said that.
State Farm. Yeah.
How do you like them apples, Jake?
Over, overflow. Way too many stories. Got to move on. Way too many stories covered this week. They're always in the show notes at firearmsradio.tv. Click This Week in Guns. Or you can pledge your support at, we have a new place to pledge support, firearmsradio.tv/pledge, or click pledge at the top of the website. And if you pledge for the after show level, you get to talk with us and maybe about some of these extra stories after the show. So head on over to firearmsradio.tv, click pledge at the top there, click This Week in Guns, and pledge your support to this show. Amazon can contribute to the Firearms Radio Network and This Week in Guns by shopping our Amazon affiliate link. Click the Amazon banners or link on firearmsradio.tv, bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. We are to the full auto news segment. Stories the real media won't talk about and other crazy stuff. Each of the hosts picks a story to call their own. Well, you guys are picking your stories. I want everyone else to go over to JWB Military and Brass. Check out their fully processed, ready to load reloading brass. I have 9mm, 223, 5.56, 300 blackout, 308. So if you're too busy to get all your brass primed and trimmed, you can get it fully primed, trimmed, deprimed, swaged and wet tumbled brass. So it looks gorgeous, ready to load. Get it over at JWB Military and Brass. I also have AR-500 steel targets. Really good deal on those AR-500 steel targets. I've been shooting those at my range every time I can get down there. Lots of fun. JWB Military and Brass. All right, who's ready to go?
I am.
Baraka?
We're going with the zombie, of course, because that one stuck out the most. Florida man caught eating stranger's face was a standout student at FSU and a frat brother. So apparently this guy went and he took bath salts, went up to some poor innocent couple who were minding their business in their 50s, stabbed them to death, and when the police arrived on the scene, he was consuming the man's face. So, yeah.
I don't think it was bath salts in this scenario. It was some synthetic drug, wasn't it?
Well, something like bath salts, but they said that they tased the kid, he wouldn't come off. They said 3 officers tried to pull him off, still couldn't get him off. So they ended up having a team of officers having to come and pull, like, over.
Well, they let a dog loose on him too, didn't they?
Yeah, and it didn't do anything to him. So this stuff, whatever he was on, was worse than PCP. And yeah, that guy, man. They need to find whatever that was and nix that with the quickness. But they're worried about marijuana. Come on.
Right. So, yeah, it's really not the zombie apocalypse. I know a lot of people got excited, got their gear ready to go, and then realized it was just some crazy frat.
Oh, so let me tell you guys something real quick. Just a little off topic here, but stem with the topic. So we had this one guy who came from India at my old job who actually thought the zombie apocalypse was a thing because it was right when The Walking Dead came out, and when I was a network engineer for Time Warner Cable, and he was like, we were all talking about zombies every day, and it was season 1 of, and he was like, he had heard so many Americans throughout the time he's been in our country talking about it. So he's like, when is it going to happen? He thought it was an actual event that we're all preparing for, like we're talking about. He's like, so Baraka, when is the zombie apocalypse going to happen? I've been hearing so much about it. He's like, when is it going to happen? And I was like, no, Faisal, his name was Faisal Ahmed. He was from India. I was like, no, dude, it's not going to happen. He's like, yes, it is. I hear so many people always talking about when the zombies come, they're going to do this and this and this. And I was like, dude, it's fiction. He's like, I don't. He's like, Baraka, you can tell me. I know you don't trust me because maybe I'm not from here, but I want to be prepared. I want to know when this is going to happen. And he wrote me off. He thought I was lying to him. I was like, dude, wow, that was a strange thing.
Wow, you're such a jerk. You didn't prepare him for the zombie apocalypse.
I know, dude. I know. I'm holding it out, man. It's an American secret that
he probably saw the Florida man story and was like, "Oh my God, he lied to me."
Yeah, totally, right?
Because this is like the second or third Florida man that's eaten somebody's face while on bath salts.
Yep.
The first thing you got to do is tell him, just get bit. Like, find one and just offer him your arm, and you'll be safe. You don't have to worry about anything.
Tainted meat.
All right. Josh, what do you got?
There's two here that I have put my little feed corner on, and I'm torn between Naked Lady and Road Rage.
Naked Lady always. Sex sells, dude. Let's go.
All right, so just when you've seen it all, they erect a 55-foot statue of a nude female. And let me tell you, yes, please. If I could erect that in my front yard, that'd be the best thing to come home to. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, every guy, all the female listeners out there, and all the female fans, I want you to know that I fully respect the female, and I admire and appreciate the female body. I would like to appreciate a lot more nude 55 feet in front of my house.
There you go.
It's not like it's just some like behemoth. That's a sculpted shape. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying.
think that might not pass the zoning ordinances in your.
Yeah, you're gonna be the guy to rip down the 55-foot naked lady.
No, Josh, you disappointed me because you didn't go on the couple sues over excessive Pokemon Go players in neighborhood.
Oh, because people are stupid. I don't even care.
Oh, okay.
I don't like Pokemon Super Nintendo because people are walking around and doing stuff on their phones.
They don't feel safe. There's so many kids playing Pokemon Go.
Ridiculous.
All right.
Buy a shotgun.
Adam, what do you got?
Frickin' A10. That's what I got.
Yes.
Dude. This guy, and this holds a special place in my heart because when I was younger, I used to fly RC airplanes, and I actually watching this video makes me want to get back into that. Although it's really expensive.
I want A10.
This dude has a remote control A10 Warthog that he modified to put a Nerf blaster in, which it shoots 12 foam balls in less than half a second. You gotta watch this video. He flies it around and he has a camera mounted to the side of it, and he strafes some fake tanks he has on the field here. It's awesome. It's really sweet.
I'm really surprised he didn't go airsoft, and why he went Nerf.
Yeah, that's true.
He probably could have got more ammo in there, so he could do longer. Brrr,
Yep, way more. You're right, Josh.
and higher velocities.
True. Very true.
Either way, you can't deny the awesomeness of it.
I want an A10 now.
And then just watching like an A10 RC airplane fly around is pretty freaking cool too. So either way, the video's a win.
He's got a camera like on the thing too, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can actually watch it in flight, which is like, oh, I want one so bad. But are those like actually mini jet engines? Like, what? Because you don't see a propeller.
I don't know. That one may be electric. And
Because I've seen them where it's like it's spit like ME262s and stuff like that are you don't see a prop on it and you hear like little mini jet engines spool up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
The
one I had an electric motor with a prop in the back, and I had another gas-powered one that had a prop in the front. So I don't know what powers that one.
I'm already doing research on where I can buy this damn thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking too, actually.
It's around the corner, gentlemen. Remember that.
All right. Wouldn't be complete This Week in Guns without a Nazi story. Nazi gold train dig set to begin August 16th. Oh, wait, that was 2 days ago. We have live footage of them digging for the Nazi gold train. Could be packed with looted riches. Haven't found anything yet. I was looking around on some different news sites. But we talked about this last fall, that these treasure hunters supposedly found this Nazi gold train. And so they have struck a deal where with the government to guarantee a 10% cut of any find.
The reason you haven't heard anything is they're dead. Didn't you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark? That Ark was in there. It was the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was in there. They opened it because obviously they didn't see the movie, and they all got and blew up, and they're done, dude. It's a done deal.
That would make sense. Yeah, we haven't seen the Ark of the Covenant since Raiders.
Oh my God, I found one, Whitey.
Is it 1 to 6? 6.25 scale?
Oh, they're still behind, Jay.
Because
No.
that is huge.
No, it's not. It's smaller. It's
This
also
Asian man can ride it.
it's $230. Don't need it,
This
though.
Asian man is trying to hold it up. That's how big this one is.
Okay, you guys look at A-10 model airplanes.
It's a 1/6. It's a 1/6 scale, Jake. I mean,
This one says age level 14 and up, skill level intermediate, and build time's only 2 hours. How could we possibly go wrong with this one?
We're talking about Nazi gold here. Come
And
on.
you guys are still stuck on the.
old. It's in Venezuela.
Well, just think, yeah. I mean, just think about all the A10s you could buy with the Nazi gold you're never gonna find.
All right, so I guess I'll go on to a man convicted of road rage killing was released and then killed himself in a similar incident. So you just got out of jail from a road rage incident where you killed somebody. First step, go drive, pick a fight on the road. This guy, however, happened to be a concealed carry owner, instructed the guy to back away multiple times. When he did not heed his warning, he got popped.
Karma.
So, yeah, a lot of that going around lately.
Yes, indeed.
All right,
A10.
anyone else have a second story you want to hit?
No, but you can buy an F-18. That's pretty cool.
All right, here we go.
Adam, look in the comments of our group chat.
Yeah.
We put
Yeah.
you on there.
Save it for after the show.
Oh, actually,
You're not the
oh,
boss of
no.
me.
Did you put the story about Jackie in the bottom here? It says Navy vet critically injured, raising money
There
for.
we go. Yeah, it's in there. There it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw it about.
Yeah, I lost it earlier. There we go.
Okay. All right. Well, that maybe they'll have an update. It says the 15th, so I'm not sure. Just reading it right now. No spine or brain damage. Thank God. I was worried that she was going to lose use of her legs.
So again, new way to support the show. Go over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge or click the link here in the show notes. Have new levels where you can pledge your support. We have the Starbucks level, $5 a month. For the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you can feed a starving podcaster. Cheaper than smoking level, $5 per episode, $20 a month. For the cost of a few packs of smokes, you can buy a box of ammo for a starving podcaster. Just saying. Small swag and supply box level, $30 per month. For the cost of a dinner for two, you can get an awesome swag box in the mail every month. After show level, $10 an episode or $40 a month. You can hang out with us after the show, and it will only cost you the price of your dignity. Large swag and supply box level, $60 per month. For the cost of feeding a family of four, who wrote this? For the cost of feeding a family of four in Africa for a year, instead you can get some really cool stuff.
Why are you stuck on Africa? Why don't you? What about? There's New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. Well, Josh, I'm surprised you didn't slap his hand on this. What about
looking at A10 Warthog?
Oh my gosh, he's done for the night. Just log him off.
All right, in the small business level, segment sponsor, $200 a month. Only a few of these are available. I've had it. Big companies think this show is too controversial. Advertise your small business, your small company, to your super niche audience of 10,000 listeners every week for less than the cost of your company's phone bill. So head on over.
Controversial? You don't even let me use dirty words.
I know, right? Well, we talk politics, and all these companies are like, oh, politics. Well, not that we get political, but we talk about political things. So go over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge and pledge your support for This Week in Guns. This is part of the show where we see what these guys are up to and where you can connect with them online. So, Josh, take a break from shopping rccars.net.
Good luck.
And where can people connect with you online, and what's up?
So, Four Guys Guns is pretty much on the majority of the popular social media networks. So whether it's Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find us at Four Guys Guns, all spelled out. You might want to turn on those notifications if you could, because even on YouTube, We have a weekly series we launched last week called the Weekly Drill Down, where basically Fat Kid Me goes against a firearms instructor, Matt DeVito, from Downrange Firearms Training, and we conduct these random drills, one per week, utilizing RE Factor Tactical's IQ targets, which are just a bunch of series of shapes and numbers and colors in conjunction with their Dead Man's Hand deck of cards that has a different drill for each one. We mix it up a bunch, so we have like red cards or rifle drills, black cards or pistol drills, the loser, and we're thinking of modifying it to winner as well, depending on the armory, so to speak, but the loser has to run the same drill, but with the weapon of the winner's choice, and that can be anything. So it could be, a really horrible gun for the situation. In my case, I like to mess with Matt and make him shoot guns he doesn't normally like. And it's just, we got 52 cards. We're partying, so check it out on YouTube. New episode tomorrow, shooting for 3 p.m. I have some finishing touches to put on it, but every week, Friday, the weekly drill down. Plus, we also have a bunch of reviews and articles, things like that. And buy some Velocity Mag extensions. Those things are pretty dynamite.
Awesome. Baraka, what's up, and where can people connect online?
Things are going well. Just currently, we've got a few upcoming events that we're trying to plot and plan for right now, so nothing really major to report, but if you want to support us, go to masf.co, check out our mission and what we're about. We are trying to get more people to get educated, because ultimately proper safety comes through good education, and we want people to start educating not only themselves but their children, their neighbors, their people in their community, because ultimately when it comes to personal protection, you only can rely on yourself. Our culture has taught us from the time we were children that someone's always going to come and save you, but we have seen countless times that that's not the fact, and we have this God-given Second Amendment right, and I want people to go out and learn how to defend themselves. I mean, even if you don't like guns, understand that they're a tool, and that you need to know how to use them to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones. So if you just go to masf.co, take a look at our mission, you can find in our online magazine my contact info and under some of the articles we wrote, and I appreciate your time and support.
Awesome. Adam, I heard you're running for some political office or something. You need votes?
Yeah.
Vote for
So
Adam.
I'm running for the NRA Board of Directors this coming year. Right now I'm petitioning to get on the ballot. We announced that just over 2.5 weeks ago now, or right around 2.5 weeks. And so in order to get on the ballot, I need 250 signatures. I currently have 170 that I've verified membership information on. Doesn't mean that they'll all count, but I've at least verified that they're members and that I have the correct info. So those, when I get closer to 200, which will hopefully be by the end of this week or very beginning of next week, I'm going to ship those down to NRA to start getting ideas to how many of those are valid, so I have an idea as to how many more I have to go. But the response has been overwhelming. It's really awesome. I'm very happy with it, and I know that a lot of people who were petitioning to get on the ballot started at the end of NRA, which was back in May. So I am a latecomer to it in that regard, yet we are doing very well with signatures. So you can go to the website adamkraut.com if you want to request a petition. Just fill out the form there. I will send you an email, so check your email. You can also check out the Facebook page I set up for it. You can find Adam Kraut, the public figure. Go ahead, like that. Keep you up to date with everything that's going on there. And then in February, if you are, and this goes for the petition too, but if you are a life member, benefactor, patron, endowment, or if you've been an annual member for the past 5 consecutive years, you're eligible to sign the petition or vote. If you're not eligible, if you want to share with your family, friends, whoever will listen to you, that would be fantastic. The only way I'm going to get elected is if word of mouth travels. And so far, it's been very, very positive, and I'm really happy with that. So,
Got my vote, Adam.
I appreciate it.
And I'm a life member, and I've been a member since 1991.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old, dude. Remember.
Yeah. So, and then I called the secretary today, but I know out of all the board of directors who are currently serving, I'd be the youngest by a pretty good margin. Trying to figure out if I were elected, if I would be the youngest one ever elected or not. So
That'd be awesome, man.
But I certainly am the youngest one in the mix currently. As
Let's
far
make
as running
history.
for it.
Support Adam Kraut. He's awesome. Thumbs up, too.
Awesome. Yeah, link in the show notes, adamkraut.com. Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. I forgot to mention, just launched the new patches,
I
the new
love
summer
it.
brew patches.
I like
We got
that.
the Deer Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Tack Driver, King of Bullets.
Nice.
Aim small, miss small. Hand cannon, Magnum hog leg. Camera is not focusing.
There it goes. No, it's good. You can see that one clearly.
So patriotpatch.co. Pick up these awesome summertime brew patches. And we actually put up a vote. We had like 6 designs or something we put up for vote. And these are the designs that you guys voted for. And we made them. So
Yeah, those are awesome. Especially the one on your hat.
patriotpatch.co. Yeah, we got the blue line law enforcement flag over there as well. So patriotpatch.co. Leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of the show notes or YouTube, however you watch us. Contribute to the show using that Amazon affiliate link and pledge your support over at firearmsradio.tv/pledge. Well, thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. And
Pleasure to be here, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Baraka.
It's my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Jake, for having me.
And thank you, Adam.
Thanks for having me, Jake. Always fun.
That's a wrap. We'll see you next week.